Joining me now, Colorado Governor Jared Polis and Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt. Great to have you here together in studio with us. You all have been at the White House and spending time with the president. Governor, I want to ask you first, what has been the impact of the border on your state? Because we hear all states are border states now. And did you hear concrete solutions this week discussed?
You know, really, we heard just a few excuses. And, you know, we believe that the president is the executive and he absolutely has the tools that he needs to secure the border. We want to reinstitute the Remain in Mexico policy. And I always remind people there's a difference between immigration, which we all know that we need immigration policy and we need workforce. I'm actually for state-sponsored work visas. But we have to have a secure border. And we think that there's tools in the tool belt that this administration can use. But fentanyl deaths are up 500% in Oklahoma. We know that meth deaths, all those drugs are flowing through. And then you look at Chinese nationals coming through, people on the terrorist watch list. There's certainly a bipartisan effort right now. All the governors I talk to all know it's a problem. And we need solutions. And we know what those solutions are. It's really to remain in Mexico and secure the southern border.
Well, and Governor Polis, I know for you, one of your big issues is affordable housing, and you've been really pressing this in Colorado. We know your state. We had Denver's mayor on not long ago, talked about the tens of thousands of people who've shown up in Colorado. They're here illegally. The pressures on a number of states and towns, they're saying we just can't responsibly help and manage and house these people. How is the border affecting your ability to get some more affordable housing issues handled in Colorado?
Well, this is really an example of how we need to listen to one another better, because this isn't a Democratic or Republican challenge. It's an American challenge. We need to secure the border, whether that's from the mayor of Denver or whether that's the governor of Oklahoma or Colorado. And of course, we need more border patrol agents. Congress needs to fund them. Congress needs to fund additional border security. Of course, when people are entering illegally and we fail to lock down that southern border because Congress can't act, of course it'll increase the demand for housing, and that only adds to the cost of housing in communities across the country. So while we're undertaking a number of efforts to remove barriers, to build new housing, reducing permitting time, cutting red tape, we also want to make sure that we can secure that border to make America safer and to make America more affordable.
So we hear this over and over again from the White House that it's about more money for more border agents and enforcement, which sounds good, but opponents didn't buy it. I mean, of what they saw coming together in the Senate, they felt like it didn't have enough teeth to it for actual enforcement, and there were work permits. There were other things that were going to draw people in under that framework.
Yeah, that's the deal. I mean, let's focus on one issue at a time. It would be our plan. And what I try to explain to people in Oklahoma, and I think it's important because I've been to the border several times with Governor Abbott, there's 28 ports of entry. It's already a federal law. It's illegal to enter the country anywhere but these 28 ports of entry. But what's happening is you've got people entering, and then as soon as they touch U.S. soil, then they're just kind of, letting them into the country and giving them kind of free pass to all the services and just telling them to come back to a court date. Then they're blaming it on the court system that there's, 5 to 7 year wait period. So we do think there's solution, and unfortunately politics gets involved in this city. But governors, we get along very well, and we are more practical about, hey, let's just solve this. Let's put our heads together and let's solve this issue, and then we can move on to state-based work visas to support the needs of our communities and our workers.
I want to play something from another one of your fellow governors who was also at these meetings at the White House this week, Governor Gianforte, who said this about what he heard.
We met with the president for about an hour. The first half scripted off a teleprompter. We were allowed 2 prearranged questions, one from the Democrats, one from the Republicans, and the president's, responded to it.
Governor Polis, how would you describe this meeting? Because when people hear it was a teleprompter where he's meeting with you guys, a group of you guys, several dozen of you in that room, and 2 prearranged questions, was there a free flow exchange of information? Because that sounds like a very controlled meeting.
Well, I'm not sure when the interview was, because he actually took another question from Governor Gianforte. So after the 2 questions, there was at least a third question. And he just spoke to us from the heart. I think he was a good free-ranging discussion with the president. He also was with us when he entertained the governors and our spouses at the White House last night. So I think, of course, he heard from many of us our concerns about border security. He has a plan to secure the border. I think we need to get it done. But we talked about a number of other issues as well, and the president and Dr. Jill Biden were very gracious in their time with the governors.
Did you all talk at all about the budget? because as state executives, you guys can't print money. You've got to get your budgets done. We're staring down another potential problem of a government shutdown by Friday if we don't get a number of bills done. Any advice for D.C. on getting these budgets done?
I think turning to governors is a great example. We balance our budgets. We deliver budgets
to.
on time. Absolutely. I think Congress can do the same. Congress should do the same. So I hope that Congress can take a lesson from the states, balance the budget, keep the government open.
How do you do in Oklahoma?
Exact same way that we have to have a balanced budget. And I think we have to think, why is Congress not doing their job and passing a budget? I think it's been in the 90s. I think Americans are just super frustrated with these continuing resolutions and also the deficit spending. If we bring in last year, the government brought in $4.4 trillion. Okay, so it's important for Americans to know, did they spend $4.4 trillion? No, they spent $6.1 trillion. That's unsustainable. Now, 25% of our annual revenue or your salary is spent interest only. So we're spending $1 trillion a year now on interest on the national debt. It's unsustainable. It's not like a mortgage payment where you're doing principal and interest and you're going to eventually pay off your house or pay this debt off. We're doing interest only. It's never going to be paid off. And they're still spending $1.7 trillion over what our revenue is. We've got to have an honest conversation. American people are super frustrated.
Well, because none of us can run our budgets that way
at
home.
And that's really a unified message from Democratic and Republican governors is Congress, do what we do in the states, balance the budget, put America on a sound fiscal track. I mean, the state of Colorado has a $1.6 billion budget surplus, right? Many states have budget surpluses. It's not hard to do. If you spend your money wisely, if you eliminate waste, we've cut taxes 2 times. We want to do it again.
Look at you guys. Hey. Plenty of agreement there.
Plenty of agreement. I mean, there's always, there's always people pitching a great idea. Do this government program. Do this government program. But if you don't have a limit on your spending, why not spend $7 trillion, $8 trillion, $10 trillion? Your limit has got to be your revenue, and that's $4.4 trillion. And so it's just common sense. Americans know this. What's going on in Washington, D.C.? We don't run our states that way.
You can't.
They shouldn't be doing that here.
We'll see if anybody's taking notes this morning. Gentlemen, Governor, it's good to have both of you with us. Thanks for coming in together.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Kilmeade. I want you to do me a favor. I want you to click to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page. This is the only way that I know for sure that you're not going to miss any great commentary, any great news bites, any great interviews coming your way on Fox. You can get it all here on YouTube. So subscribe right now.